share the screen again. So I do record what's on the screen, but I don't record the people's names, and we cut them out in the videos. If you look on my YouTube channel, there are no names, and when people ask questions, we cut that part out, and that's why if you ask a questions, I rephrase it myself so that I'm the only person that shows up in the video. So here we go. My name is Val, and I am a stake pool operator for Cardano stake pool LEGA. It's Val for close friends and delegators. And this here is a salmon that I caught in Pulaski, New York, 2 weeks ago, the previous weekend when I went there for fishing. I'm big on fishing, especially for salmon. And now it's salmon season. So if you want to catch some really big fish, you have to go to upstate New York. And today's presentation is on stake pool operators, who they are and what they do. I get questions all the time from delegators. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Or is now a good time to start my own stake pool? So I wanted to make a quick presentation to explain what my responsibilities are and what I think other stake pool operators are responsible for and what they're not responsible for, as well as how much money you can make or how much money you can lose, or what you need to do, and so forth. So first slide that I have some basic concepts because we may have some new people, or we have made people that have an audience that hasn't come to these meetings before, or somebody who'll be reviewing this later, and I want to lay out some basic terms. It might be a review for some of you. So ADA staking rewards are newly minted supply of Cardano cryptocurrency or rewards received through transaction fees. And I have a breakdown on this. So the ADA staking rewards is what delegators receive as rewards every 5 days after they start staking. ADA reserves are ADA coins that have not yet been minted and have not yet entered circulation. A delegator is somebody that owns, holds, and stakes ADA in their wallet or through their wallet, and stakes it to receive rewards in the proof of stake protocol. Stake pool is a transaction validator and a block producer on the blockchain. And stake pool operator is somebody like myself who runs computers that validate transactions on the blockchain to make new blocks on the blockchain, to record data and secure the network. Epoch is a period of computing time on the blockchain, and it's always 5 days. Slottery is a random assignment of slots. So it's a random lottery process that assigns slot leader positions to stake pools as they verify and process transactions. So when a stake pool is selected by the slottery as a stake pool leader, they have the ability to complete the slot. And when they complete the slot, they mint a block. And when they mint a block, then the pool and delegators receive a reward. And a block is a transaction record, like a page in a ledger book. So it's a batch of records that make up a block that are packaged together into one space called the block. Orphan block is when your stake pool finishes a block that another stake pool cannot. So let's say we have relays and we listen to transactions on the internet, and there are other relays that connect to us, and there are relays that we connect to, and we listen on the blockchain for transactions happening on other stake pools. And if another stake pool cannot complete a block, then we have an opportunity to complete it. And if we complete it first, then we can propagate it through the blockchain. And if we do that, then we complete an orphan block. So that's something that happened a couple epochs ago, and I'll show you what the result was. A pledge is an amount of ADA that a stake pool operator commits to holding in the pool to secure the network. So to prevent a 51% attack, a certain amount of ADA needs to be staked in the pools, and it has to be more than half. So in order to secure the network, the stake pools commit to a pledge in their pool. So if they have less ADA in their pool's wallet than they commit in their pledge, then the pool stops working. And if they have more or equal, then that's fine. So the pledge is something that we pledge an amount to keep in a stake pool to keep the stake pool and the blockchain secure. So these are the basic concepts and terms. Any questions on these? Is there a minimum pledge? Okay, there is not a minimum pledge. There's not a minimum pledge for you to pledge to become a stake pool operator, but whatever pledge that you commit to is what you have to hold in that wallet. So there's a separate wallet that the pool has, and if you don't hold that amount in that wallet, then your pool stops working. So let me show you what that means. So this is our pledge. If you go to adapools.org and you type in LEGA in the search, then our pledge is here. This is the pledge. So our pledge is 317,000 ADA. So this is what we pledge to hold in the pool right here. This is the pledge. I've never heard of soft staking. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure that relates to Cardano. Somebody asked what a soft staking is. So those ADA that are in the pledge, they're there now and they can't move, or else the pool stops working. Yes, that's exactly right. So this amount here in the pledge, 317,000, we cannot move that anywhere. It has to stay in that wallet as long as the pool is operational. How do we change this amount? There is a process called pool registration. If you go through the pool registration process and you re-register the pool, then you can change this amount. But until you change that pool registration, that amount has to stay in the pool and it cannot change. There's a way to take money out of that wallet, but if you do that, then the pool stops working. And to turn it back on again, then you either have to put money back into that wallet, or you have to re-register the pool and reduce the amount of the pledge. And there's a pledge leverage here that determines your rating, and the pledge leverage is percentage of the pledge from the total amount. So the total amount that's staked in the pool right now is 4.15 million ADA. So 13% of that is the pledge by the stake pool operator. What's the difference between live stake and active stake? So live stake is an amount that's in the pool before the current epoch snapshot has been taken. And active stake is the amount that's after the current snapshot has been taken. And why does that matter? When the snapshot is taken every epoch or every 5 days, this amount here, the active stake, is amount for which rewards will be paid if the stake pool makes blocks. So as there is no holding period, so as delegators are moving ADA in or out of their wallets, the live stake changes. So that's amount that takes into account ADA that's been moved in or out of the wallet. The active stake is the amount that we're minting on right now. Some of the other parameters here, the estimated blocks in the epoch is what we should be making based on our amount of ADA staked. And block trend is what we made, the blocks that were made in the current epoch. Lifetime blocks is all blocks that we've ever made. Lifetime luck here, 82%. So luck is how many blocks I make in the current epoch comparing to blocks that I made in the previous epoch. So if I made in this epoch, in the current one, more than I made before, then I have a higher than 100% luck. If I make less, then it's lower than 100% luck. So, and if you stretch that throughout the entire existence of the pool, that's your lifetime luck. So we're at about 82%. Delegators, this is how many delegators have delegated their stake to our pool. So that's 60 right now. Margin and fixed cost. So this is how the stake pool operator makes money. Fixed cost is 340 ADA per epoch. So this is what we subtract from the total amount of rewards that the pool made before all rewards are distributed. So if we make 7,000 ADA in an epoch, then 340 are subtracted from that 7,000, and the rest will be divided up between the delegators. And the 2%, that's the margin. So US delegators make 98% of your rewards. Us as stake pool operators, we make 2%. So if you got 1,000 ADA in rewards, then we get 20 ADA from that 1,000 that you made. So this is how we make our money. Any questions on this from the chat? All right, we'll keep on going. Sorry.
Val, I had a quick question about the 51%. I'm sorry,
Yep.
It took me a while to get
Sure, go ahead.
You mentioned doing something to prevent a 51% attack. Is that 51% of all ADA across the entire Cardano network, or is that 51% per pool?
It's 51% of all ADA on the Cardano blockchain.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep. So in order to perform a double spend attack where the same ADA is being spent twice, in order for somebody to conduct that, they have to own 51% of ADA or more. And then they can attach that ADA to their stake pool, and then they can rewrite the ledger. So that has actually happened to Ethereum Classic a couple of times, from what I know. But it's never happened to Bitcoin. It's never happened to Cardano. And so for Bitcoin, you would have to have more than 51% of processing power. For Cardano, you'd have to own more than 51% of ADA and stake it and run stake pools to rewrite the transactions to do a double spend or rewrite a transaction as the blocks are being written. Good question. So as a stake pool operator, is a transaction validator on the Cardano blockchain. Stake pool operator runs servers on the internet that process transactions on the internet and validate them. Stake pool operator does not have access to delegator's fund. Stake pool operator does not distribute rewards. So the only ones that have access to funds in your wallet are you, and the ones that distribute rewards on the blockchain, it's the blockchain itself. It's like a distributed anonymous organization. There are pre-set rules on who gets rewards, and those are based on blocks minted and ADA staked. So as stake pool operators, we have no control over that. We do not decide who earns how much in rewards. So the blockchain distributes the rewards based on pre-set conditions on the blockchain. You do not send your ADA to a stake pool operator. In fact, you shouldn't send anyone your ADA unless you're paying for some service and you know exactly who it's going to and what service you're paying for. There are a few scams out there where you have to send, or somebody's asking you to send ADA to them. Don't do it. It's a scam. If somebody's promising you that you'll send them 100 ADA and you'll get 20 ADA back, it's a scam. So in order to stake, you don't send anybody your ADA. You send it to your own wallet that you sent up. And I know that on the Ethereum staking protocol, you have to send your Ethereum someplace to have them stake it. So that's one of the advantages, in my opinion, of Cardano ADA is that you don't have to send anybody your ADA to have it staked. I actually have Ethereum, and I do stake my Ethereum, and I do it through Celsius, and I have had to send them my Ethereum. I have a little bit. I don't have much, but I just have some from way back in the day. But I think that it's a huge advantage for Cardano and for ADA that you maintain the control. So in short, if somebody is asking you to send them your ADA to stake it, or for some other reason to send you more ADA back, think twice before you do that. So what are our responsibilities as stake pool operators? We're responsible for installing, upgrading, maintaining relay, block, and certificate servers. So those are the three types of servers that you can have on the Cardano blockchain: relay, block, and certificate. So we install, maintain, and we are responsible for troubleshooting any issues with those nodes. If an installation goes bad, we're responsible for troubleshooting it. If there's a performance issue and the node is slow, we are responsible for troubleshooting it. Stake pool operators is responsible for communicating with IOHK, which is the main developer behind Cardano, on any changes on nodes or blockchain parameters or performance settings on the nodes or tuning of the nodes. I know that there are also some stake pools that participate in the pilots of new versions, in the new alpha and beta releases. We currently do not, but there is a certain group that gets an early production release, and we are in that group, in the community that does the first release install when it goes to production. So that could also be a responsibility of the stake pool operator. What is a stake pool operator not responsible for? So we're not responsible for communicating rewards. So we don't tell the delegators how much they made. We'll share some sites with you where you can look those up. And there are some blockchain explorers where you can look up rewards. And I can show you those, but it's not my responsibility to show you what you've made in each epoch. You can do that yourself. Because we have 60 delegators, we can't communicate that to every one of them effectively. And we're hoping to get more delegators. So as the stake pool grows, hopefully, that remains your responsibility and not ours. So we're not responsible for your tax obligations or decisions. So if you decide to pay or not pay taxes from your staking rewards, We're not responsible for telling you how much you have to pay or whether you have to pay them or how you pay them. So there are different interpretations of current rules of the IRS on whether staking rewards are taxable or not. And I suggest you talk to a tax professional on that. We're not going to tell you how to do that or whether to do that. Stake pool operator is not responsible for keeping your wallet safe. As your key phrase and your spending password and physical access to your laptop or phone, we're not responsible for that. So you're responsible for keeping all of that secure. Do not share your spending password or your recovery phrase key with anyone unless you're making a will or something like that. Stake pool operator is responsible for keeping the stake pool running, but we're not responsible for calculating the amounts or calculating the amounts and transferring them to your wallet. So in order for you to get rewards, the stake pool has to stay up and it has to keep running, but we don't communicate payouts and we don't make payouts. Okay, I have a question from the audience. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, is there a way to see like a running balance, not just the total of the rewards of a staked pool? Because I was trying to figure out like how much I was earning per epoch, and
Yep.
I couldn't figure that out because I was just seeing a total. And it's interesting because all these other places where you can put in like your wallet ID and it gives you a list of the transactions, I couldn't find any that gave you a list of the transactions for the rewards portion of it. And I'm also a
Okay.
little confused as to whether or not the rewards are a part of the same wallet or not. It seems to be separate, but part of it. I don't understand that.
Okay, good question. So is there a way to see like a running tally or a report of all your rewards and what are they worth and what's in your wallet and how do you receive the rewards, right? So yes, if you go to pooltool.io, this is the site, and you go into the search and you put LEGA in the search or whatever stake pool that you're delegating to, and then if you click on this pool details button, there's a delegators button here. So click on that, and then you need to find yourself here. Find yourself in this list. So this one here is the owner. So that's obviously that's me. So I'm going to show you how to do it on mine. This is the pledge. So if I click here on actions details, it will give you a breakdown here of stake rewards, what the pool has received in their pledge account. And there is also down here, there's the export tool. So you can choose, CSV, here's a format, and you can choose your currency like US dollar or whatever country that you're in. So mine would be US dollar. And then you can do a date range. Let's go back to beginning of the year. I'll do January 1st to and up to, let's say, October 1st. Then I'll click on download data and it will spit out this spreadsheet. If you open it,
Okay.
then it will give you rewards that have been paid out. And actually, if you choose, let's choose crypto tax calculator. I like this one because it gives you the value in US dollars. Let's open that one. So it will give you currency is USD. This is rate is what it's worth in US dollars at the time of payout. What was the total reward in ADA? And here's the date right here of the payout. So this is every 5 days, that's an epoch. And then you get the, so if you click on any one row, then the rate is US dollar to ADA. This was 87, 103, and so forth. And then the value of the staking rewards in US dollars. And then you can sum that up here. And this is what you received throughout the year in US dollar terms. And here's what you received in, oh, that'll be it. Total rewards in ADA. So that's per epoch, and one line is one epoch. And if you do out of sum, so the pool made 20,000 ADA, basically, this year. So in order for you to do the same thing, you just have to go back here in delegators, find yourself, click on your own account.
Which address am I looking for from the wallet? Because when I look at the wallet, it shows, oh no, it just shows the one address. Never mind.
There's one rewards address per wallet. There are multiple send or receive addresses, but there's only one rewards address. So you have to scroll up or scroll down, I don't know who you are, and then click on your own delegation here, and then you can do the same.
Gotcha.
So this is how you find out, if you want the details, but even if you click on one of these, I'm randomly clicking on an address, I have no idea who these people are, but you can see in stake rewards, you can see what you got paid. There's a date right here on the left-hand side, September 22nd, for instance. Stake rewards were 38.539. Okay, and if you want, you can in Excel form that you do your tax calculator, you can download data here. And this is very helpful to me, at least, because obviously I have to account for that. So next, so where do those rewards come from that we get every 5 days as a pool owner and delegator? They come from two sources: transaction fees and the monetary expansion of ADA, also known as inflation. So there's a 2.5 or close to it, around 2.5% inflation rate of ADA. And that's ADA that's going from the reserves into the circulating supply. So that's 75%. And then 25% is transaction fees, what we collect as stake pool operators on the blockchain for processing transactions. So you put those together and you get your block rewards. And from the block rewards, 75% goes to stake pool and delegators, and 25% goes to the treasury. And the treasury is the fund, the catalyst fund, where you can apply for your project to get funded, and then if it gets funded, then you get paid an ADA to build a project that your delegators have voted for. So this is where those rewards come from. The stake pools and delegators are paid based on number of blocks that they have minted, and the blocks that they have minted are based on this lottery, and that's based on the amount of ADA you have staked in the pool, and whether you've completed any orphan blocks. So the chances to mint a block are determined by this lottery. It's a random process that picks a slot leader based on the amount of ADA in your pool. So what's going to happen in the next 2 years? So this year in 2021, 3.3 billion ADA will be distributed as rewards. Next year in 2022, 2.1 in 2023, 1.7, and then that amount of rewards that will be distributed among staples and delegators is reduced every year. So if you have ADA or you own ADA and you're not staking, then you should be staking now, because now is the time for your maximum rewards. Now is the time to receive maximum rewards on your staked ADA. And so we've grown from 200,000 wallets, Cardano wallets in January. Now there is 1.2 million wallets. Close to 700,000 Cardano wallets are staking. So if we keep up this pace of growth, but the rewards that are being transferred between the reserves and the circulating supplies are reducing every year, what do you think that's going to do to the value of ADA in terms of US dollars per ADA or Bitcoin per ADA? What do you think that's going to happen? I'm going to leave that as something for you to think about. So stake pool metrics. There are a total of 3,050 stake pools right now. 94.4% have made rewards at some point. So 38.8% of stake pools have stake and made blocks. That means that 62% have no stake and no block. So there's a large number of pools out there. There are small pools that don't have stake and don't have blocks. 10% of delegators have never received the reward payment. So we have approximately, it's actually a bit big, it's a bit more than 10%, but there are about 700,000 delegators and delegated wallets. There are 72,000 delegators that have never received rewards. So the one in the middle is the blue stake pools are the ones that have blocks. The green that don't have rewards. So they have blocks, but they don't have rewards. And the gray in the middle is no block and no reward. So roughly a bit more than a half of stake pools, they have a stake but no blocks. So that's how proof of stake works, is in order for you to make blocks based on the amount of ADA you have staked, you have to keep processing transactions for a long period of time. So when you choose a stake pool where to stake, choose wisely. Stake pools without stake, 172. So there are 172 stake pools out there that have no ADA staked in them. So obviously they won't make a block. So question comes up. What happens with those stake pools that never mint a block? So eventually they'll either mint a block and they'll get paid and they can keep running, or they keep running on enthusiasm. But there is a mechanism. There is a called saturation. So there's a saturation factor that's built into the blockchain, and I'll show you where that is. So this is right here, our saturation, and it's about 7% right now. That means that based on our stake pool capacity, we're at 7% saturation. So we could go up to 40 million ADA staked, and we could still be producing blocks. But there are stake pools that have more than 40 million ADA staked, and they're completely saturated. They can't produce more blocks, so they can't increase their rewards. So there's like a golden middle somewhere where you have a certain amount of processing power, a certain amount of ADA staked, and you're still not overly saturated where you can still produce more blocks. But That's the K parameter, and that's going to go down over time. So stake pools will have to reduce the amount of ADA stake to remain profitable. So that will shift some ADA to smaller pools like ours. There are many pools that are bigger than us. There are many pools that are smaller than us. So how do we compare and where we stand? So if you go to, if you click on share and you scroll down here, you get some stats from previous epoch. So this is our rank right now, 455. That's among the 3,050. So we're in top 500. We're not in the top 100, but we're also not below the kind of like the median. So we do okay. So that's pretty much it for the slides that I had today. I have some useful links. Visit our website, stakemyada.net. We have a LinkedIn page. Please follow. It's Cardano Stake Pool LEGA on LinkedIn. There is a LEGA channel on YouTube. It's called LegaSystems. Please watch the videos, like them, and subscribe. And we do have a page on adapools.org. That's the site that I was showing you just now, and pooltool.io. So which one is which? This one here that I was showing with rewards, this is pooltool.io. I like it because it shows you what the pool made in each epoch consistently. And the other one, this is adapools.org. This one that has the graphs, and this one is the one that down here where I showed you the rank. So, and this one has the dashboard. So that's what I like about this one. So each one has something that I like about it. Check them out. You can use the search here, put in LEGA in the search. When you click on the magnifying glass, then it will find us, and you can read our stats or some other pool stats. So before I wrap this up and we go to the next section, any questions from the audience?
I just had one about the treasury and what kind of projects succeed there. Do you know anything about that?
I do, but that's like I need a day.
Talk.
Just yeah. But there is, if you Google Catalyst Fund, Cardano Catalyst Fund, then you can read there about that. I don't think it's my place to go into that because just too long. So let's see if we have enough people to play. So we have 6 people, which I think is enough to play.
Sorry, I can't
trivia.
play. I'm just listening.
What? Why not?
I can't. Busy.
Okay. So I honestly don't think it makes sense to play trivia unless we have at least 6 people. We need 3 people on each team. So do you guys want to? So if Gustafer is not going to play, I don't know who some of the other people are. Is VA going to play trivia? I don't know who that is, so I can't speak for them. But we need more people, obviously.
Could we just use the time to do an open conversation about other
Yeah.
Cardano news? Because
Sure.
there's been a lot of Cardano news since the Alonzo
Yeah,
went live.
Let's do it. So VA has left, so he's not going to play, I guess. And Timothy. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about. I'll stop recording.
Yeah.